Live from Studio 46 in the Citrix Broadcast Studios, it's Tech Talks to Go. I'm your host, Sean Donahue. Tech Talks to Go is an informal conversational series that features industry experts and subject matter heroes. We talk about the subjects you want to talk about and dive deep into technical matter. Now, let's see who's on this week's version of Tech Talks to Go. All right, welcome back to another episode of Tech Talks to Go. I'm your host, Sean Donahue, and joining me today is a continuation of our conversation on Citrix Smart Tools, and I am honored to have with us Matthew Varghese. Welcome, Matthew, to Tech Talks to Go.
Thank you, Sean. How are things with you?
I'm doing great. And I'm really excited to have you on the show. I'm really excited to get a little deeper into this thing that we started talking about with Blake Connell called Smart Tools. And we are going to pick up the conversation with you here today. But Matthew, for our audience, if they haven't seen you at Synergy or Summit or any of the other events that you've talked at, tell us a little bit about yourself, the 3 T's of Matthew, the title, your tenure here at Citrix, and your task of what you do for Citrix.
Sure. I'm not a big fan of titles. My official title is Director of Product Management, but I rather look at myself as the Chief Customer Officer for Smart Tools. So I'm the guy who goes out there, talks to customers, gets requirements.
Okay.
I've been with Citrix a long time. I've been here for 14 years, like most people here in Fort Lauderdale. And I focus on 3 products currently. So I have CIS, Citrix Insight Services. Mm-hmm. I have Smart Tools, and now I also kind of drive requirements for part of the new offering called Citrix Analytics.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about Citrix Smart Tools previously with Blake Connell. So if you haven't seen that, I don't know why our audience hasn't seen that, but go check it out. It's another episode on the YouTube series under Smart Tools. The first one, the intro. That's where you get all the entitlement to Smart Tools, what it is, all the tools that are within Smart Tools. Do you have any stories from the trenches that you can share with us about Smart Tools and customers' experiences?
Absolutely. I'm so happy you started with asking me about a story.
It's almost like we practiced this, isn't it?
Yeah, the Smart Check is actually a result of a painful customer conversation that happened about a year ago. So I speak at Summit and Synergy quite regularly, and it so happened that I was in the booth. I was talking to customers, and this happened on day 2 of Summit. So the demo sandbox had been opened up, and I had come in early to set things up. And I saw this guy, this 8 in the morning, I saw this guy sitting there waiting for me, and he was looking very nervous. So I sat with him and I asked him what his problem was. And he says, dude, I might lose my job and I think you can help me. I was like, whoa, tell me how I can help you. Yeah, and here's a young guy, and his job was really to look out, check out blogs, check out KB articles, and keep an eye out for security patches and make sure that his system was patched and ready every time we put out a new patch. And he wanted to know if we could automate that for him, because it's painful to sit and watch out for upcoming patches. That kind of set me thinking about the true value that we could provide our customers. A lot of them are people with young kids. A lot of them are young kids themselves and people right out of college, interns, doing this thankless job of keeping their environments healthy. And in this day and age where you get updates for everything, including your shopping cart, it was kind of shameful that we weren't doing that for our customers.
Yeah.
And so I took it up on myself and on my team to provide our customers with peace of mind when it came to the health of their environment. So Smart Check, and if you can see my screen.
So
Sean,
wait a minute, Matthew. I can't let it go at just that. So this person's job was to scour blogs and news articles and things like that for updates and patches, and he wanted us to automate a way to do his job. I'm assuming so that he can move on to something bigger, better, and more exciting than reading blogs about patches.
Absolutely. Look, think about it. People don't want to be stuck just patching environments, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these people are incredibly smart people who want to get on to doing something more strategic. And that is where we realize that, there's an opportunity here to help people to make a meaningful impact on their lives.
Right.
So Smart Check is all about providing peace of mind to our customers.
Okay. So the last time I talked about Smart Check, and I was talking to our buddy Blake, and he had this whole dental flossing analogy. If you didn't see, again, go back and check out that example. I think I have maybe what hopefully is a better analogy than somebody coming into your bedroom in the middle of the night and flossing your teeth for you. Recently, I started subscribing to eBay searches. So I search eBay manually for updates on antique car parts because I restore antique cars. And now eBay alerts me or sends me notification about updates when people post new parts for specific cars I'm searching for. So that seems to be a little bit what Smart Check does, a little bit of a proactive implementation and health checking and alerting system. Is that close, or should we go back to the dentist?
No, absolutely. You are spot on with that analogy.
And you're still in control. We're not, taking anything over. You're still in control of actually applying all of the patches and updates. It's an alerting, type system.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
Perfect. All right. Hey, Matthew, enough of the chit chat, enough of the talking. Let's get into some action here. We brought you in because you're the killer demo of Smart Check. So let's roll right into some actual hands-on activity. Does that sound good?
So in my demo, what you're going to see me perform a check. And when I perform a check, what really happens is that we trigger the check. We tell the backend to run the check on the target machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an agent running on the target machine. And I think Blake spoke about it in the previous episode. And as Sean was saying, please go and check that out. The episode really talks about how to get started with Smart Check. And once you install the agent, once the agent gets the instruction to run the check, it runs the collector. The collector collects some data, sends the data back to the analyzer, which in this case is CIS.
Mm-hmm.
So we analyze the output, and then the output is used to raise an alert on the UI. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to get into too much of the details. We're probably going to leave that for a different episode.
And I'm now, come on, Matthew. I'm not creating all of these checks manually, am I? Are we giving people built-in checks, or do I have to create custom checks? Is that even a thing?
Beautiful question. I like that. In fact, if I go back, and I'm going to show this in the demo as well, Smart Check comes pre-packaged with 4 checks. These are called Citrix. Yeah, these are Citrix recommended checks. These are checks that have been, handpicked by the experts in Citrix, and they run 3 kinds of checks.
So start your day off with your coffee, your health check, but app and desktop availability. If obviously, if that one's not working properly, then people aren't accessing apps and desktops. So it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. It tells you if your employees will be productive today or not.
Well, that's not a guarantee there, Matthew. It tells them whether or not their apps and desktops are available. Their productivity, we can't check for that. Let's put the Barry Bonds asterisk on that one. We cannot guarantee that your employees will be productive based on health checks.
Yes.
All right,
so
Matthew.
We highly recommend. Yeah.
Now, can we get to a demo?
Absolutely.
Right.
So
let's jump in.
I've logged into Smart Check. I have everything up and running, so we don't have to kind of go log in and spend your time. So this is the standard Smart Check interface. It is meant to be super simple. Mm-hmm. You don't need a PhD to understand what's there. You don't need to be a Windows expert to know what tool to install on which machine. We take care of that for you. All you need to do is log into Citrix Cloud, go to Smart Tools, pick your organization, and you're good to go. Now, when I say pick your organization, you obviously, if you are, most customers have, few orgs, not too many.
Yep.
And it's only people like me who are part of too many orgs. That's just for demo purposes. But
Well,
anyway,
partners, like Citrix consulting partners could have multiple organizations.
Exactly. So if you're a partner, if you're a Citrix consultant, tech support, you're going to be a part of multiple orgs.
Mm-hmm.
So, couple of things here. The first thing is the checks themselves run between 5 a.m. and 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. local DDC time.
Okay.
How do you run a check? Now, you can run a check by your own, manually, whenever you want to, on demand. So to do that, go to Smart Check, click on Perform Check, pick one of the checks. You want to run your apps and desktop checks, you want to run the update check, you want to run LTSR compliance.
Yep.
Pick a check and just run it, right? So when you select, it's going to ask you for a confirmation. You click Perform Check now.
Mm-hmm.
You see these little spinners telling you that it's running one check. And as soon as the check completes, you're going to see some results.
And this is what you said earlier about the collectors and the analyzers. Is it safe to say that those are kicking off right now?
Perfectly. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'm so glad you're listening to me very carefully. So what's happening under the hood is that we've actually kicked off a collector. Mm-hmm. The collector is running on the machines. So in this case, it's running on the DDC, collecting information about the delivery groups. And as soon as it is done collecting information on the delivery groups, we're going to see the health results or the alerts getting displayed under this one delivery group. We're going to give it a few more seconds to run, mm-hmm. and then we'll dive in and take a look at what those results look like.
Okay. And now, is this strictly cloud-based, Matthew, or can I run this on-prem?
Perfect. So Smart Tools is a cloud-based service, but you can run it both on your on-prem deployments as well as your cloud deployments.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the results of this check. So the first thing is we've got this executive summary. It tells me, it gives me a quick summary of all the checks that I've executed. In this case, I executed this check right now, and because this is the apps and desktop check, it checks for the health of the delivery groups. This one tells me that all my delivery groups are fine.
Okay.
So I expanded. It tells me, no issues found. Now, if we had issues, then this check would have told me, which VDAs were down, for what reason, whether they failed registration or whether they were overloaded. And it's going to give me a list of those VDAs. Let me show you an alert that is actually actionable. Now, like I said, these checks run once a day. And in this case, it looks like we found some issues in the controller and in the machine catalog.
Okay.
Let me expand controller. I have 3 controllers, and I seem to have 3 warnings and 4 updates that I need to look at. So let me expand this one first. Warnings are all amber, and updates and hotfixes are all blue. So in this case, for example, it tells me that my controller is not LTSR compliant. It also tells me that I seem to have an incomplete configuration for the configuration service, and the site database has not been backed up. Now, the site database not being backed up is one of the most popular alerts. I mean, it's something that customers really appreciate, because a lot of people don't really think about updating their, backing up their databases very often. Mm-hmm. So this is an alert that tells them to go and back up their databases.
And that does it for this edition of Tech Talks to Go. Thanks to our special guest, Matthew Varghese of Citrix Smart Tools. Remember, subscribe to this channel. Read the blog, simply search for Matthew. Start your own Smart Tools journey at smart.cloud.com. Follow us or tweet us questions to #CitrixTech. If you have ideas for future episodes, please leave them in the comments below. We'll read them, I swear. Look for emails about future episodes of Tech Talks to Go. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Come back again. Ta-ta!